surrounding me, leaving me with nothing left to say. Imagine it, grasping it, it feels so far away. Do I throw it all away if it means that I can cross the line?
Well, unfortunately, both of my MHA shirts are now in the wash, so we're gonna have to rock with Black Butler today. So, apologies for not being in the right attire for this review, but hopefully it's not a big thing to you. And this should be another pretty short, sweet, to the point review, because this is pretty much just the entire second half of the Deku and Shin battle, with one battle mixed in at the end as another foreshadowing to the big confrontation that has yet to happen. So let's talk about it. What's up, what's happening, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your message for anything animation, including pro heroes fighting for the fate of the world, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Finally got it right. Welcome back to Academia April 2. Let's talk about Season 2, Episode 7 of My Hero Academia, aka Episode 20, titled Victory or Defeat. And like I said, this episode is pretty much nothing but the second half of the battle against Shinso, and one fight very briefly with Todoroki. So, let's go over it nice and quick. So we left off the episode with Deku being frozen in place by the brainwashing quirk. Then President Mike talks about more of the quirk. And Midoriya starts to listen to Shin's orders to walk out of bounds and get knocked out of the tournament, and everyone's telling him not to do that, but he can't stop moving. That is until he sees this weird vision with all these different eyes and like shapes of people, which we later find out are shadows of the former users of One for All, which gives Deku the strength to use his power to break his finger and get out of the whole situation. Then Deku focuses and throws Shinso out of bounds. And then we get a little bit of character development about Shinso, and that's pretty much it. So pretty much what it amounts to is Shinso being dealt a bad hand because of his quirk. And because he didn't score as many points as some of the other people, he got thrown into a different class. But he was here because he wants to be a hero, and he heard that if he does well here, he has a chance to get moved up to the hero course. Which, spoiler alert, does happen later in, I believe, Season 4. Maybe Season 5, somewhere around there. But he does come back, so this is the last we're going to get of him for now, but he will return eventually. And I did appreciate how the writers were clever enough not to make him a straight-up villain. Like, he wants to be a hero, he's just being dealt a very bad hand in life. And the way it mirrors Deku's own journey up to this point, genuinely good writing. Then Todoroki has a quick talk with his father right before he goes into his first match, which is against Seto. Yeah, he's up against the tape guy. And right when the match starts, out of anger from what his father told him, Todoroki goes a little bit excessive, creates his now trademark giant ice wall, and freezes Seto in place, as well as half of the entire stadium. And Midoriya notices that Todoroki does look very sad. And he is regretful that he did go so excessively overboard against Seto out of his own anger. So yeah, that's pretty much the episode. So let's move on to final thoughts now, which should be... where are my final thoughts? Unless my internet's just being slow again. Here we go. Another excellent episode with an in-depth explanation of Shinso's brainwashing quirk, thanks to President Mike. Deku's vision of the past users of One for All, which gives him the strength to break through the quirk right before he walks out of bounds. Deku overcoming the mind control to win the match. Some character development for Shinso that cleverly mirrors Deku's own journey so far. and ending with Todoroki going overboard on Seto with his signature ice wall out of anger for his father. It's a great conclusion to the first two battles of the UA Sports Festival's finals tournament, and even more foreshadowing of the confrontation that's still on the horizon. Another great episode, final verdict, 9 out of 10, check it out. That's it, thanks for watching, and I would say that's where we're done for today, but I have a whole series to review tomorrow, so we're going to knock out tomorrow's episode now. So I'll see you guys next time for Battle on Challengers.
Excited for what comes up ahead. Hey, Shenron.